Hello everyone, once again welcome to the study. Important question answers of class 12 Introductory Macroeconomics, chapter number 4, name of the chapter is Income Determination, are discussed in this video. All the questions are taken according to revised syllabus due to COVID-19. This video is especially for the students of CBSE, RBSC, AHSEC and all other board of senior secondary of India. It will be very helpful for you in the annual exam of 2021. So please don't skip any part of this video. Friends, you can also check our other videos on macroeconomics and microeconomics for class 12. Links are provided in the description, comment, I button and end of this video. If you are new in this channel or you haven't subscribed this channel yet, please subscribe now and press the bell icon. So without delay, let's start the lesson. Our first question is on the screen. The first question here it is said, what is aggregate demand? So this is the first question and this is most important question. So what is the answer of the aggregate demand? What do you mean by aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is the total demand for final goods and services produced in an economy at a given period of time. That means aggregate demand. What is aggregate demand? That is the total demand. Aggregate demand is nothing but it is the total demand for what? For final goods and services. Goods must be final or services must be final. Okay, that means intermediate goods or intermediate services cannot be taken in the computation of aggregate demand, and those should be produced in an economy. That means an economy should be definite here and at a given period of time. That means at a specific time. That time should be specific within any given period of time. Period of time should be there. So aggregate demand means the total demand for the final goods and services which are produced in an economy at a given period of time. So this is the demand for gross domestic product of a country. That means also you may say aggregate demand is the demand for gross domestic product of a country. What is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is the demand for the gross domestic product of a country. So I think you know gross domestic product, GDP. You already got in national income accounting section. On that chapter you already got this one. So that is the GDP. That means this is a demand for GDP. Aggregate demand is the demand for what? Demand for the GDP of a country. It specifies the amount of goods and services that will be purchased at a all possible price level. That means aggregate demand also specifies, it also denotes what? The amount of goods and services that will be purchased, that will be bought by the customers at all possible price levels. That means there must be a price level. On that price level, what will happen? In an economy, the buyers will or the consumers will they will buy the goods and services at a given period of time. And that is the demand. That demand will be called a aggregate demand. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Next, second question, what is aggregate supply? This is also important. The total supply of goods and services that firms in a national economy plans on selling during a specific time period is called aggregate supply. So aggregate supply is from the firm's point of view. Okay, but aggregate demand is from the point of view, which point of view? That is the domestic point of view. Okay, domestic point of view, that means the goods and services that are produced by the firms, and those goods and services are demanded or purchased by what? Purchased by the domestic or the households. You may say households also. Okay, households can buy those services and goods produced by the firm. And here total supply of goods means what? Total supply of goods means goods or services, that is aggregate supply. Aggregate supply is also total supply of goods and services that firms in a national economy plans on selling during a, that means it is plans. You must apply this word here, plans. That means they are planning to sell that kind of some total amount of supply of goods and services during a specific period of time or at a given period of time is called the aggregate supply. Aggregate supply means total supply of what? Goods and services that a firm is planning to sell at a specific time period. That is the aggregate supply, and it is the total amount of goods and services that firms are willing and able to sell at a given price level in an economy. And that aggregate supply means the total amount of goods and services that the firms are willing to sell and they are able to sell at a given period of time in an economy. So that is the aggregate supply. I hope you have understood this. So let's come to the third question. Third question here is, what is effective demand? This is also important here. So effective demand means what? Effective demand in a market is the demand for a product or service which occurs when purchasers are constrained in a different market. That means effective demand in a market is the demand for a product or services which occurs when purchasers are constrained in a different markets. They are constrained in a different market. And also here its direct definition is given here. From the second line here, effective demand is that part of the aggregate demand which equals with the aggregate supply in an economy at a given period of time. So this is the important definition here. You may write from here also, effective demand is that part of aggregate demand. That means effective demand is nothing, it is but what? It is the aggregate demand which equals with the aggregate supply of an economy at a given period of time. That means if aggregate demand, suppose we are writing aggregate demand AD and aggregate supply AS, if aggregate demand will be equal to aggregate supply in an economy, that aggregate demand will be called what? That is called the effective demand, ED. You may say ED equal to what? ED equal to AD equal to AS. That means at an economy, whenever aggregate demand will be equal to aggregate supply, on that part of the economy, that part of the aggregate demand is called the effective demand. That will be the effective demand. Okay, so next, the level at which effective demand is the level at which the economy is in equilibrium. That means at the effective demand, that means effective demand is the level at which economy is in equilibrium. That means economy will attain its equilibrium, that is where aggregate demand will be equal to aggregate supply, is called the effective demand. So most important definition is given here, and this definition will help you in your examination. So you should keep remember all this, and you may take the screenshot of this video and you can write in your notebook. So while watching this video, you must make ready your notebook and your pen, and whenever I am explaining anything, you can write. And if you have any problem, if you have any difficulty, any confusion, then you may write in the comment section. So friends, let's come to the next is the income determination. That means whenever we are discussing aggregate demand, aggregate supply, at that moment we have to discuss what? We have to discuss the income determination according to aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. Okay, that means according to aggregate demand and aggregate supply, how can income be determined, or how can the employment level can be determined? That will be the long question in your examination. So therefore I am including this one here. This is the most important, as because the lesson's name is the income determination itself. So therefore I am taking this question. So it is very important. You should be attentive here in this part of the video. So let's start it. And before starting, I want to request you that if you have not liked this video, please give one thumbs up and then continue the video. So it is said here, in short run, the level of income is determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Level of income, level of national income is determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply in the short run. And the supply of goods and services in a country or in an economy, you may say in an economy, depends on the production of capacity of the community. But during the short period, the productive capacity does not change. but during the short run what happened, the productive capacity of the community, of the country, of the economy cannot be changed. It will be definite, it will be constant. Okay, it cannot be changed. So if aggregate demand increases, output will also increase, and level of national output, that is, what do you mean by level of national output? That is, the national income will rise. On the other hand, if aggregate demand AD decreases, the national output or national income will also decrease. That means here you can say that if aggregate demand AD will increase, that indicates that national income NI of an economy will also increase. If aggregate demand will decrease, if it will be decrease, it leads what? It leads the economy to decrease in the national income of that economy, that country, that community. Okay, so that is said here. So next one, it follows that the equilibrium level of NI or national income is determined by aggregate demand, since the aggregate capacity remains more or less the same during the short run. So during the short run what happen? Aggregate capacity of the community, of the country will remain more or less same. It will be same during the short period of time. So therefore equilibrium level of national income is determined by aggregate demand itself. So what is aggregate demand? We have already discussed this, but you have to include here whenever you are giving the answer of this question, whenever you are explaining income determination, or whenever you are given the question like how income is determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply model in an economy, explain with an diagram. So you may write that question and then you can give the answer this one. Otherwise you may ask this type of question like this: income determination, describe income determination with the help of aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. So also that time this will be the answer. So what is aggregate demand? You must include there aggregate demand AD, the total demand for final goods and services produced in an economy at a given time. That is also given in the first question. We have already discussed this one, so I will not explain this line. This is the demand for gross domestic product of a country. It specifies the amount of goods and services that will be purchased at all possible price level. There are two components of effective demand, or you have to write this one aggregate demand, not effective demand. This should be aggregate demand. There are two components of aggregate demand, and these two are the consumption demand, which is denoted by capital C, and second one is the investment demand, which is denoted by capital I. So therefore aggregate demand equal to aggregate demand, that is AD, equal to what? It will be C plus I. So this is very important. You must include this one whenever you are explaining or whenever you are giving the income determination explanation. Okay, so you must include this part. So let's come to the next one. Next one here is the aggregate supply. So we have already understood the aggregate supply. Again we are discussing here the total supply of goods and services that firms in a national economy plans on selling during a specific time period is called aggregate supply. It is the total amount of goods and services that firms are willing and able to sell at a given price level in an economy. Aggregate demand is the total value of production in an economy at a given period of time. That is aggregate supply. Sorry, this is not aggregate demand. This should be aggregate supply here. This must be aggregate supply. It is wrongly typed here. So aggregate supply is the total value of production in an economy at a given period of time. That is aggregate supply is the indicator of national income of a country. So AS equal to Y. You may write AS equal to Y. Why? As because aggregate supply is the indicator of the national income of a economy of a country. So where AS means what? AS means the aggregate supply, Y means the national income. In economics, national income or income is determined by the letter Y, not by the I. I denotes only the investment, so therefore you should not be confused here. And NI equal to what? NI equal to, you can say C plus S or Y equal to C plus S. That means what? Here you can write AS equal to aggregate supply equal to, you got already Y. Y means what? National income NI, and the NI is equal to what? NI. National income is either a part of the consumption or a part of the what? Savings. So therefore aggregate supply itself you can write in place of aggregate supply AS, you can write AS equal to C plus S. This can be also written here. So this is also important here. Next, equilibrium income and employment are determined by the point at which the aggregate demand and aggregate supply becomes equal. So when equilibrium income and equilibrium employment level are determined, they are determined at the time or at the point, at the moment at which aggregate demand AD will be equal to the aggregate supply. So at that moment, at that point, only the equilibrium level of income and equilibrium level of employment are determined. And the determination of equilibrium level of income and employment are described in the following diagram. So we have included here one diagram or one figure here. So you have to try to understand that diagram. So let's come to the diagram here. Diagram is already drawn here. So this is the diagram. So in the x-axis of this diagram, so this description is about the diagram. In the above diagram, national income is represented on the x-axis and level of consumption and investment is represented in the y-axis. The 45-degree line represents the aggregate supply line and it is also called the income line. This income line shows the two things. So which one we are referring here? This one, this 45-degree line. This line is called the income line as well as the aggregate supply line, and it is referring the two things here. What are the two things here? These two things are the total output or aggregate supply, that is C plus S, and the national income. So C plus I line represents the aggregate demand curve which intersect the income line or the aggregate supply curve at point E. At E point AD and AS becomes equal and Y level of income is determined, which is the equilibrium level of income. Thus equilibrium level of income is determined by aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So this is all about your question. If you include this part, whatever I have given here, whatever note I have given here, if you include in your question answer, then definitely whatever marks will be there, that particular marks you will earn in your examination. That is definite. So you have to attentive here, and if you have not understood this one, then you have to rewind the video and you have to watch again and then try to write in your notebook. Okay, without writing you cannot memorize all this and you cannot understand. So if you have not understood, then you have to rewind the video, pause the video, then listen and again and then try to understand. So let's come to the next question. What is the next question here given? Next question is this is, what is marginal propensity to consume? How is it related to marginal propensity to save? So now we have to give the definition of marginal propensity to consume. So marginal propensity to consume is related to the consumption function. This is consumption function, and we already got the consumption in the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. So therefore this question is given here, and this question I have taken from your exercise. From the exercise it is taken. So this is important. Marginal propensity to consume is the ratio of change in the consumer's consumption expenditure due to the change in the disposable income. That means marginal propensity to consume is a ratio. It is none but it is a ratio of which? Ratio of the change in consumer's consumption. Change means with the del. In economics and in mathematics, del is used for denoting change. So change in consumption, change in C, due to what? Due to the change in the disposable income. Due to what? Due to change in the disposable income. Income is denoted by Y and del Y, that is del C by del Y. Means if you keep remember this del C by del Y, then you can automatically keep remember the definition of marginal propensity to consume. That means marginal propensity to consume is a ratio, is a fraction. Fraction is a type of ratio. So it is a ratio of what? Ratio of the consumer's consumption expenditure. Ratio of the change in, you must use this word change. Okay, so change in what? Change in consumer's consumption expenditure and due to what? Due to the change in disposable income. That means if disposable income will change, the result will be that consumers consumption also will be changed. So what is given another line? In the other line is given, in other words, MPC measures how consumption will vary with change in income. That means with the change in income, how consumption will vary, how consumption will change. So that is denoted by marginal propensity to consume, and marginal propensity to consume is denoted by MPC. MPC, you may say MPC, M for marginal, P for propensity, C for consume. Marginal propensity to consume, or in small m, with the small m it is also denoted small m, marginal propensity to consume, and sometimes it is also denoted by what? Denoted by small c also. Okay, keep this remembered. So what is given here? According to our definition, we understood that MPC equal to del C by del Y. That means due to income change, what is the change in the consumption? That is the MPC, and that MPC is given here, where del C means what? Change in consumption, del Y means change in income. So this is all about the definition, this part of the question. Question number 4, first part is all over here. And next part here, how is it related to marginal propensity to save? So marginal propensity to save, so relationship between MPC and MPS, you may underline this one. Marginal propensity to save is said MPS, in the short form MPS means marginal propensity to save. So how is the relationship between them? The relationship is that the sum of the MPC and MPS are equal to 1. So what will be the sum of the MPC and MPS? If you add MPC with this MPS, this MPC with this MPS, you will get the sum 1. Sum will be equal to 1. So this is the relationship between marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save. This is important here. The relationship between MPC and MPS means marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save can be explained as. So this can be explained like this here. What is given here? Y equal to C plus S. C plus S means what? Assuming that the income earned is either consumed or saved. So therefore income consumed Y is Y equal to, we may write C plus what? S. Consumption plus savings. So therefore what happens? Suppose income is changed, it will be del Y. Whenever income is changed, it will be del Y. So del Y leads what? Change in consumption as well as change in the savings. So therefore this line is given here, del Y equal to del C plus del S. Why it comes? Because of change in income. Change in income leads to the change in the consumption expenditure of the consumer as well as the savings of the consumer. Okay, and now what happened? Now this del Y equal to del C plus del S, both should be divided by Y. Both sides should be divided by Y. Dividing both sides by del Y. Here one line you may include here. Dividing both sides by del Y, then you have to include this line here, or del Y, sorry, this is del Y by del Y, yes, it's okay, no problem. And then del C by del Y here, plus what? Here you will have the del S by del Y. So del Y by del Y means if you cut both, in the simplest form, if you write this fraction, then you will find a value 1. So therefore it is taken 1 here. And next here del C by del Y, this one, this del C by del Y is what? This is the ratio of the change in the consumption due to change in the income, means MPC. Okay, and next here del S by del Y means what? This is the change in the consumer's savings due to change in the consumer's income. That means this is the MPS. MPS is what? MPS means marginal propensity to save is the ratio of change in the consumer's saving due to the change in the disposable income. So therefore you may write del S by what? Del Y. That is equal to what? That is equal to MPS. So therefore we have taken here 1 equal to MPC plus MPS. And from this relationship you may find MPC equal to 1 minus MPS. Similarly MPS equal to 1 minus MPC, both you can find, means whenever it is MPC plus MPS equal to 1, that time you may write the value of MPC. Suppose you are getting the value of MPC equal to, you may write 1 minus MPS. Okay, so similarly sometimes you have to find MPS, and in your question you will be given the MPC. That time 1 minus MPC should be done and you will find the MPS. I will give an example here, but before giving the example, let's finish this question. So sum of MPC and MPS is always equal to unity, and this is the relationship between marginal propensity to save and marginal propensity to consume. This is very important question for your exam, upcoming exam of 2021. This is very important, so try to understand it and try to memorize all these. Okay, if you have understood, then no need to memorize, no need to do any by heart, so you will automatically understand and automatically you can write in your examination. So now we have to discuss about the relationship of MPC and MPS. What type of questions you may get in your examination, especially mathematical questions you may get. Suppose in a question you may write down the question, if MPC of a consumer, or you may say if marginal propensity to consume of a consumer is 0.4, find the marginal propensity to save of that consumer. Okay, so you have if you have written this question, then come to the answer. You have to write given. What are given here in your question? Given is MPC equal to 0.4. This is given. Then you have to find the MPS. How to find? You know that relationship between MPC and MPS, that MPC plus MPS equal to 1. If you remember this, then automatically you will find MPS. MPS will be equal to 1 minus 0.4. So 1 minus 0.4 is equal to 0.6. So the value of MPS equal to 0.6. So this is your answer. So friends, again you have to write one more question. Suppose marginal propensity to save of a consumer is equal to 0.3. Find the marginal propensity to consume of that consumer or that person. So let's come to the solution. In the solution you have to write given. What is given in your question? Given is MPS equal to 0.3 and MPC you require to find. So this is given. So what you have to do here? You just write, we know that, you have to write, we know that MPC plus MPS equal to 1. So MPC you require to find, therefore keep MPC on the left hand side and take this MPS on the right hand side. Then it will be 1 minus MPS, and it will be 1 minus MPS. The value of MPS is 0.3. 1 minus 0.3 will be equal to what? 0.7, and this is your answer. I hope you have understood this. All these are the mathematical questions, and you may expect this type of questions in your upcoming examination. This is very important. So friends, these are the questions taken on this part of the video. This is the first part of the video, and on the next part we'll discuss investment function, investment multiplier, relationship between investment multiplier and MPC and MPS. All question answers, all important question answers will be provided in this upcoming video. So this video is also helpful for you. If you think so, then you have to like this video, as well as you have to share this video with your classmates, with your friends who are needy students. You have to give this video, video links would be shared with your social media accounts. So I am requesting for that you. So friends, at the end of the video I am giving you the thank you, and I am completing the video.